The second. Oh, God, the round's gone.
They are. Brent has an opportunity. There's the first. There's the second. Turns on.
And still, if fire works out, you get any more? Yeah, he can. It's 5. The Young Guns in round 11. And they go back. He took out the corner in time. And you bet we will. That's it. Takes no. Let's get this show on the road. Cellium who fights Sue right off the rim. Makes it 3. Taken down 1 by 1. Last man standing. Oh! It's real early. The BZ waiting to pounce. There's the next. Give him the last point for him. Waiting for his demise. And there it is. Look at the mini-map FaZe are in. It's the guts. It's the glory. It's the championship for FaZe.
Ladies and gentlemen, all of you beautiful people, welcome back to the Call of Duty League. My name is aBeZy, this is aLLeY, and also that's Nameless at the end. And for this matchup right here, we have two pretty pissed off teams, okay? Both of these teams are coming off of losses that they really didn't want to have. For Seattle Surge, the losses have been kind of streaky. They struggled to win games beside their first 2. But on the other side, Nameless, you have Atlanta FaZe, a team that didn't expect to lose in Texas, man. And also, we know that they're not happy with that finals performance.
Yeah, they're locked and loaded and ready to go, right? And despite, losing both those series to OpTic, they are still a fantastic team versus everyone else. I'm absolutely terrified going into stage 2 because these guys are ready to go. In this series, like, the odds are just stacked against Surge. The only map that they really have, an advantage in quotes is GvU2 in terms of map record for that control. So in order for Surge to, extend this series, they have to win that control. But for Atlanta FaZe, man, this is a team that can do it all across all game modes. They're positive everywhere. And for the game fuel keys to victory, Cellium needs to continue to make an impact in Search and Destroy. 1.61 KD so far this season. He's been lighting it up. And then also bounce back in Hardpoint. They went 0-2 versus OpTic in the Major 1 final. FaZe still the #1 team in point differential and holding. They're great versus everyone. Versus OpTic, OpTic had their number. OpTic dominated them in that series. And FaZe definitely went back, and they're going to get even better after that. And then also make strides in GvU2 control, especially offense. 6-2 on Tuscan and 1-3 on GvU2. Last in GvU2 offensive win percentage. So definitely have to work on that going into this one. Versus a Surge team that we've seen have some good GvU2.
I'm going to be completely honest. Playing this FaZe team is pretty terrifying, like you said, man. It's kind of like we've seen a bull get punched, and now the bull is seeing red. But when it comes to Seattle, aLLeY, I do have to say this outright. You know what? They've been struggling. Yeah, they've been losing a lot lately. But the thing is, when it comes to this roster, these players and their mindset, I actually think that they're a good match when it comes to the individual skill there.
It's frustrating, right? Seattle Surge might be one of the most frustrating teams in the league right now because they have the players, they have the talent on this roster, and we saw what they were possibly capable of doing coming into the qualifiers. And then it was nothing after that. It was none. It felt like their fundamentals were lost. Unfortunately for me, it feels like Pred and Mack are very aggressive route man SMGs, which allows absolutely no frontline for Simp and accuracy. And accuracy needs that frontline man. You know where he's going to be. He's a bit of a slower AR, and if he doesn't have those 2 SMGs running in front of him, you're leaving him to get put into the blender. But when it comes to the game fuel keys to victory, they need to find a second hardpoint map. They're 3-1 on Tuscan, 1-8 on non-Tuscan hardpoints, and there is no Tuscan hardpoints in this series. So already if you're Seattle, you're a little worried heading into this and execute better post plans. I saw this perfectly the other day on Desert Siege. The bomb went down on A site. Sib makes the aggressive push to go to the enemy spawn with Mack, and they get shot from the back because the player cuts through train, gets good timing on both of them. The bomb is planted for your side. Back up, play the spawn in the angle. It was just terrible timing overall, and need more from Sib and Mack and S&D. Mack is 0.75, Sib is 0.79 KD in the game mode so far this season. Sib has arguably been one of the most consistent players when we talked about it in the beginning, but after that Major 1, man, I don't know.
You see Sib's face in that picture right there? I want him to be looking at that screen just pissed off like that this entire series. I'm gonna be real, man. Watching Sib and this team play at the beginning of the year compared to now, it's like 2 totally separate teams, right? Sib dropping 40 bombs like it's easy. But when it comes to talent pick'ems though, I like Seattle. I really do. I love Seattle. I want them to win. But I mean, what's up?
Are you good?
I'm not predicting them to win. Come on, man.
Okay.
How do you do the FaZe up, man? FaZe are gonna win this. I think it's gonna be a 3-0. This team is mad. They're angry, and they're gonna take this whole qualifying month like by storm. So I'm going with Atlanta.
You know what? Seattle could be FaZe's Achilles heel. To be fair, one of the biggest L's they held to them was Seattle at the beginning of the season, but I would be off my rocker if I betted against Atlanta FaZe in this series. The desk is right. They are coming off hot off that grand finals, and again, Atlanta FaZe will always and forever be Atlanta FaZe.
Yeah, and like despite FaZe losing, like they lost 2 series, but it was to OpTic Texas, who played amazing Call of Duty. It's the best team in the game. And Atlanta FaZe, they still were fantastic versus everyone else, right? So I'm going with Atlanta FaZe versus a struggling Seattle Surge team. I don't see how you could put any weight in Seattle in the series.
I will say this though, if Seattle are able to pull out this win, that would be incredible. I still think it's possible. We'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time for the last series of the day. Atlanta versus Seattle. Lando is steady. Go ahead and close out the day, fellas.
Thank you so much, Vel. I think we're going to tend to agree with the desk on this one, Jay. I hate to speak for you, but the way that Atlanta FaZe have been looking, obviously based off the major the OpTic Texas major loss in the finals, you got to imagine they're coming out angry, and the problem for Seattle is that they're starving for a W. Seattle cannot be fed right now, losing their last 5 series, and it's terrifying as well, Jay, because they're going to have to face off against the Atlanta FaZe to kick it off on Bocage.
Yeah, this is not going to be easy for Seattle Surge, man. You're starting off on that first hard point, going up against probably the second best hardpoint team that we have in the game, but this Atlanta FaZe's best hardpoint map. We've seen them take down the likes of OpTic Texas, who really enjoy this map pretty easily. So for Seattle Surge, this is where it has to start for me, because the Search and Destroy, obviously, they have been struggling with that. Recently, we saw them yesterday versus Boston, losing in a 6-1 fashion. So for this team, for this young team to come out and try to take this series, it has to start with early momentum, and no other way than to start on the Bocage.
Yeah, and the problem for Seattle as well is that when they faced off against Boston Breach yesterday on it, they allowed for Big Cap to break the kill record, some of the highest numbers that we've seen in CDL history. We'll see if maybe players like aBeZy and Simp can try to contest for the King of the Cage title that Big Cap currently will hold in his favor. But into B1 we go. Half the hill has expired, and currently it is Atlanta FaZe on top. A few different players to look out for, but the guy who unfortunately just gets taken down on our screen is the one that we're going to be taking a really big look at, Jay. It's not just going to be what Pred and Mack, but I think it's fair to say we're also looking at Sib.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking at Simp, because the way that he started off this year, like, he was an absolute beast with that AR in his hands, putting up 1.2s in hardpoint, taking over in Search and Destroys. But as the year has progressed, he's just kind of slowed down a little bit. Same thing alongside Pred. This is the guy who I really want to focus on in this series, because in that last series versus Boston, he put up a 0.8, but him and Accuracy had the same exact amount of damage, 9.7K on the damage amount. And when you think about a player like Pred, the amount of pressure that he's able to put with that SMG, he's going to be flying and frying. So I'm really looking at that guy to step up today.
Yeah, without a doubt. You want to see the APAC man really go off. Obviously, we talked about him the beginning of the season, how great he was at the Kickoff Classic. Many saying that he could be the best SMG player in the game for all we know, as Mack will unfortunately be taken out on the other side of the map. Basically leaves and will depart in terms of the kill column as well. Nice trades overall, as it will be. The Seattle Surge prepared for next. They've also got spawns here as well. We'll see what they can do at bottom grandmas as the FaZe will secure the final few seconds of scrap. Mack aware of the push. It's going to be 3 strong through the field, 3 strong through the back end. Spread holding things down inside of the bottom. Well, it's Mack up toward the top. He falls off the 3 spree. And with that, FaZe do falter. 1 toward the top is still alive, and that's going to be Arcitys.
And Arcitys is doing a great job of just playing his life. He's on a 5 spree. Just trying to allow his teammates to try to get into this play. Number 7 trying to go for that long flank. aBeZy does win that gunfight. So that's going to be 3 dead. Last player up is going to be back window. 4 dead, 4 easy kills coming in for Atlanta FaZe to get the break in. Arcitys trying to pick up this kill streak right now. 25 seconds remaining on this P3 hardpoint. But if you're Seattle, you want to start thinking about that rotation. You do not want these spawns to flip.
And the problem is that Arcitys has also got the glide bomb already. In N3. We're talking about Cellium. We're talking about aBeZy. We're talking about Simp. We can never leave out aLLeY. Arcitys off to a 10-3 start. Nearly makes it 8 kills in a row. Finally, will get taken down in the Surge once more. in possession of spawns when it comes down to our next hill. But as Miles loves to call it, so many different entries, so many points of view when it comes down to getting inside of the barn. And we'll see which route the FaZe elect to try and take as Mack falls toward the top.
And there's so much pressure coming in from Atlanta FaZe. I thought the setup from the Surge was beautiful. You had a player that was pushed out all the way towards Plat. You were spawning all of Atlanta FaZe towards that middle gate. But this is what makes Atlanta FaZe Atlanta FaZe. Whenever they want, they can just break on into the hill from any direction. A clean 4 dead. They're able to take control of this P4, spawn up all of Seattle towards this lower trenches. And the boys are just not missing. Keep in mind that they still have that glide bomb to work with off the rotation towards that P5.
Yeah, and as we talk about it, right, obviously there's a 40-point advantage right now for FaZe. Final 15 seconds before we head toward P5, and it's Cellium winning those initial fights. The last 2 times that these teams have met, it actually has been the Seattle Surge walking away with those victories. We're talking Stage 5 Major, and we're also talking about the Kickoff Classic. So Seattle, I want to say, have already kicked off Atlanta previously, but obviously FaZe, they want to get some revenge, and they're also trying to get some revenge from their loss over at the OpTic Texas Major. It's going to be a hard beast to try and take on down, as Mack from the skies at least able to take down aBeZy. But the problem being is that there's not a whole lot of presence and a whole lot of information to go off of, as Atlanta will take over time. As Mack once more from the skies gets taken down, trades aplenty.
So far, trades are going back and forth, but Seattle doing a great job at just contesting this hard point, not allowing a lot of time to go in favor of Atlanta FaZe. Let's see how they can try to get back in this game with the Seattle Surge. Listen in.
I think dirt.
I'm going top bar. I think tools.
He's already
low T2. He's already
T2.
I'll
pitch him.
One's back street. I'm one shot.
One shadow, two low.
Nice. We don't have the right. We don't have the right. I'll pick up right.
Push up, guys. I have all the left, okay?
No, I can't get that. Black car. He's in bottom. Simp. One's hot as well.
I can't see
Top barn.
Heard you.
Top barn. He's still top barn.
I think hut. He could be on the right.
He's in a corner top barn, okay? Yeah, he's up there. Could they push up the right? Pick up the right. Yeah, they could have. I'm holding half wall. I'm gonna go play for top barn. I'm going up there.
I think
top house, aLLeY bed. I'm holding the right. Bottom, top barn ledge, back barn ledge. I'm sliding on him. Sword on the ledge. Gate. Chris is P2 somewhere. I'm looking for P2.
Street, aLLeY, black car.
Simpson barn somewhere.
Yeah.
Black car left. I'm looking bottom barn. He could be in barn. I got him. Nice.
Okay. I'll get ready.
Yeah. I need a gate.
I have right.
I have your tool.
Yeah,
I think he's back for time. I think he's coming for time. I'm on shot.
On the right.
I'm on your bottom. They're all going right. Top house.
One more game.
aBeZy. He went dubs in top.
Oh,
we might flip.
No, we're good. One dub, one
barn. He's in barn. I'm trying to on the right. He could be top barn. Nice. He's dub one shot.
Single.
Spawn on the right, guys. Pick up left.
Absolute bottom stairs.
Single aLLeY. Dead. Nice.
I'll hold the right, guys.
Pushing up water. Water cell.
I'm trying to get. I have your front.
Water tank.
They could run up front. I have mid.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need help. They can run front. Help from front.
I'm coming.
He's water tank.
Bottom house, Lamar.
T1.
I'm going top barn.
One's upstairs in the hut. Tractor single. Single or barn hop. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, a little bit of a frustrated Seattle Surge, but at the same time, Jay, they're starting to pick up some kills. You see Simp going off. You see Pred on a few as well. Maybe this could be their chance at field.
This has to be the tournament for Seattle to get back into this game. This remaining 30 seconds is either going to make or break this first map for them. As you still see Atlanta FaZe still putting on a lot of pressure. They're not trying to give this 25 seconds easily. Cellium still doing a great job at eliminating these players from the backside. The final remaining 20 seconds should go in favor of Atlanta FaZe. This is where you have to start thinking about that rotation though. Simp's going to be here. He does get taken down. So Seattle, they are going to have the man advantage here early. Can they shut down this pressure coming in though?
Oh, and a great stun as Mack and Arcitys pretty much go back and forth. aBeZy will be the man who stays alive inside of the sewers. Still, the battle for spawns is in. The last pushed up player for FaZe will fall. And with that, Seattle will now secure spawns for bottom grandmas. Oh, and Arcitys, go ahead and give it to him. The headshot there on the Pred. He'll never be the same as aBeZy. Now given the clearance to rush on into the hill, walks right through the front door for God's sake. Takes a few down. Simp meanwhile was taking down players over toward the staircase, and just like that, FaZe take over the house, make it their own, and Surge now left to try to make something of it all. Already down majorly in this bocage. They cannot afford to allow for these points to go elsewhere. They break right on cue, but it is the continuation as Accuracy will find two of his own. is the continuation of FaZe walking away with the majority of these seconds, regardless of the ways and the moments where Surge seem to be finding a few in stride. Is now the rotation prepared for Barnes. Surge is here early.
Surge just got to get a hold. Every time they've been rotating early to a couple of these hills so far throughout this map, number one, they just simply can't find the kills once they get there. And just like that, once again, even though after the team kill comes in from a Cellium, Arcitys is able to find two, at least contest from the front side for the time being. 123 to 194. Seattle are basically down 70 points, putting a lot of pressure on through the backside, able to find a couple kills. That's going to be a clean 4 dead. 2 players from Atlanta FaZe trying to attack this through the middle of the map. But with 25 seconds left, if you're Atlanta FaZe, they still have that glide bomb to work with. So you're not in panic mode yet.
Not just yet, but it could be right around the corner. Accuracy with a few nice kills on the outside of the barn, as it will be the pinch for FaZe. They'll be happy to grab those final seconds, but it will be the rotation. As you said, the streak still ready, still an option if you are FaZe, and you have to imagine that it could come in
there
at a moment's notice. Surge here early, and Arcitys will look to call in the glide bomb, so at least getting the information, calling that out to his teammates. We'll see if the kill can come through it as well. That is a clean 4 down, an excellent break from FaZe. Great awareness of utilizing that streak, and of course it's player 5, it's Cellium clearing out the lanes as well.
And the spawns are still there for Seattle. They just cannot find an opening to get towards this point. Right now, Atlanta FaZe basically have everything cut off. One player in Mack is going to win that gunfight onto Simp. So he's actually able to break into this hard point. 25 seconds remaining here, but here comes Arcitys. He finds 2. He does get traded by Pred. So now if you're Atlanta FaZe, you want to make sure you keep control of this side of the map. You are getting closer and closer to that finish line. Surge, your main objective right here is to try to chain these kills with great time off P1. It's very difficult to do, especially versus a team like Atlanta FaZe, but that is the way that they want to fight back into this one.
Yeah, this absolutely looks like a team who was undefeated on Bocage without question. Is Pred doing everything he can to try to take down a few, jumps off the gate, but he'll get taken down. aBeZy all the more clever toward the bottom side of house, eventually gets traded, but 24 seconds left before FaZe can call this game one theirs and continue with the undefeated streak on Bocage. As we said, the SMGs, the Surge players doing everything they can to try and at least get a few of these trades, get as many seconds as possible. But it just feels like the inevitable at this point as Cellium tosses out the nade. Now 28 and 18. Fantastic game for MC as Simp is there for the read. Surge thinking about spawns, but at the time, really not favoring anybody. I think we've seen, what, maybe a total of 4 seconds be granted on this hill. It is the full-on awareness from both of these rosters on what this P2 could do for Surge if they were able to get to full 60. But much like Seattle walking away with this Bocage, that thought about taking P2 feels like it could be a dream, but Arcitys pulls out the rat, makes it work. Also the MP40, a few extra shots in accuracy, and he is done. Simp with a nice few as well. The hard point will clear. 30 seconds now on the game clock.
Atlanta FaZe have the spawns. They have the setup. Great nade coming in from accuracy to try to relieve some pressure on this point. As Pred is able to sneak his way on, but Simp with a huge 2-piece. He's going to be able to at least control it for the time being. 30 seconds left. Atlanta FaZe can still close it out here. They have the spawns.
Yeah, it just looks like FaZe really toying around. Know that they have this game in their hands if they at least can stay alive. Back and forth we go. 20 seconds left at this hill, and the final second will come through for Atlanta FaZe as they will remain perfect on Bocage and take game 1 versus the Surge.
And the reason why Atlanta FaZe, they were able to just basically slow down their game towards the later half of that Bocage is because they started off so well the very first half of the game. Arcitys picks up that streak. They don't use that streak until the second rotation P5. They were just putting themselves in a position, all right, we got this lead. We have the streak to work with if it ever is needed for a break. But then when they put themselves in such a great lead, you see the Seattle Surge players, they have to start committing towards these rotations. You can no longer fight this junk time. Atlanta FaZe, final 20 seconds of every hill, they were still contesting it to the T. And that eventually is what allowed them to grow this lead all the way to the very end. 250 to 165. Seattle Surge simply just could not stop the bleeding. They were doing a great job on their rotations, but once you get those rotations, once you get control of those spawns, you have to be able to chain that with a couple kills. Atlanta FaZe were able to break in whenever they wanted. They're able to take the map number 1 in a pretty dominant fashion.
And how about the consistency from Atlanta as well? The lowest kills, 31. The highest, 34. It was an all-out onslaught from the Atlanta side. And I mean, as we said, Jay, it's been a rough time for Seattle lately. It's been a rough time in the hard points. Is coming into this map specifically? I think they were 4-9 in Major 1. They're 1-6 in their last 7, and now you're facing off against FaZe on Bocage. It feels like the perfect duo together. It's just never going to be an easy time, but it's always hard to point out stats, and it's always hard to point out different players, but I felt like one player who just really wasn't there as much as the others, again, was Simp. A lackluster game, and really a moment where the Surge absolutely need him to go off.
You can just tell that the pacing is off for Simp, especially in this map number 1. He's going to be that guy that's running that second AR in his hands. With the way that Atlanta FaZe was shooting, you have Arcitys who picks up early streaks, Cellium 30 and 21 as you see on our screen. The guys are just stepping up. Both of those AR players just hold down their lanes, and if you're not winning those gunfights, those huge one-on-one gunfights cross map, then you're going to put yourself in a terrible situation. This is what eventually you see the SMG players not really go positive. Pred started off the game like 15 and 10, but start to slow down. When Slip slows down with that AR, Pred's going to slow down with that sub. You need them both to be in sync to see success.
Without a doubt, game 1 in the books, and it will belong to the Atlanta FaZe. But it is time for Tuscan Search Destroy. Also, we got Kavutu control for game number 3 and double Berlins on both Hardpoint and Search Destroy, if it can get there. And I don't know, maybe this is the opener. Maybe this is the opportunity for Seattle. I mean, coming into the vetoes, you and IJ were like, okay, Bocage, it feels like you can already guarantee that to be in the hands of Atlanta, but there is maybe a potential, right? There's maybe something where Seattle can start to dive into this series. Maybe it's in this Tuscan Search Destroy. And if you do remember, back to the Kickoff Classic, it was Seattle who took this in round 11. Maybe it'll happen again.
Yeah, every time for some reason Seattle beats Atlanta FaZe, it's us two casting it, and it's one of the best series of all time. Last time that we saw these two teams match up, though, was at the kickoff. And if you're Seattle, you're not going to be too worried about losing that map number 1 because they were able to win it in a 3-1 fashion, and it all starts with this map number 2. Tuscan Search and Destroy. They were able to clutch up all the way into round 11. And this needs to be the answer for the Surge. They need some kind of life, man, because it's been a very, very tough road for them ever since that stage 1 qualifier. You go out there, you win your first 2 matches, but ever since then, they have literally not put it together. On a 5-game loss streak, they need something, some kind of spark to spark this energy for this team.
They do, man. I mean, they look like this kind of stern talking to by their parents. They got to wake up a little bit. It's Bocage. It's FaZe. It's okay. All right, Surge, you can do this. I feel like I'm being the coach right now. I definitely don't deserve that title, but let's go. Come on, Seattle. But let's take a look at our top performers, though, in Search and Destroy. It is accuracy from the Seattle end, and it is no surprise on the Search Destroy KD for Cellium. A good old 1.6 there for good old MacArthur.
That's insane because before the major even started, he was sitting at a 2.6. So he only went down a 1 KD ever since that major happens. And keep in mind, he made a loser's bracket run, made it all the way to the grand finals, played a lot of Search and Destroy, and still puts up those insane stats. 1.61, obviously accuracy on the other side, but a little bit of ice in his veins. When he's the guy that's left in the clutch, he's going to be able to find a couple of those extra kills. But you can just see the ranks coming in. The KD ranks for Atlanta FaZe, number 1 out of Cellium, 10 out of Simp. And then obviously aBeZy and Arcitys probably need to step it up a little bit. But if you go back to what happened at that Major 1 finals, they were able to at least win 2 out of the 3 Search and Destroys in this series. They lost every single respawn to OpTic, but Search and Destroy, this is usually where Atlanta FaZe rely on heavily.
Yeah, a lot of people always like to think it's the respawns, but this is what, rather this game mode is what FaZe feels the most comfortable with. That's right, partner. Throughout their run together, as it will be the initial plant for Mack. He falls, but it will be 2 in reply there from Seattle. Quickly flanked is going to be accuracy as he drops from top fire. So FaZe very aggressive to get in the Surge base, which is exactly what they're going to have to do. As Pred's able to find another, it is all on to MC in a 1v2 position made known in only 20 seconds to clutch.
20 seconds, Cellium's going to jump out towards the middle of the map, but Pred reads it beautifully. Great first round coming in from the Surge. I always say it in Search and Destroy. Early into these rounds, it's all about tone setting. It's all about who's going to be able to set the tone right off the rip of the game. And right there with Seattle, just going with an all-out A-bomb plant. Mack didn't hesitate on it, even though he gets blooded as soon as he drops that bomb. Seattle were perfectly set up for the crossfires to put the numbers in their advantage. Even in the 2v2, Pred works his way all the way around Church, goes through P5, flanks his way to top fire to pick up that kill. to force it into a 2v1. Great plays coming out of Pred to start off with 3 early kills in the first round.
Good stuff from Pred. Maybe he heard my speech. Who knows? Here we go. Into round number 2. Atlanta. Their first attempt at the attack, and aBeZy and Pred could meet up very, very soon. And give that one over to aBeZy, known for his first bloods, and he'll add another one this time around. But it's the Tiny Terror starting things off nicely. Simp, meanwhile, does have that sniper and makes it land in the middle of getting shot, but he still will take the head of Arcitys. Mack's waiting. Thought for a moment he's gonna get the timing up close and personal. We'll grab it there versus Cellium. Now a 1v1, Mack versus Simp.
Simp's just trying to locate where Mack can potentially be. The bomb is going to be down towards that A site. So if you're Mack, I would sit a corner. I'm playing for the sound cue for him to pick up that bomb, and then eventually you decide to make your move. He's going to put himself in a great spot. 25 seconds. Simp still trying to sniff him out here. But he picks up that bomb. Mack in a great position to clutch it up. Great round from the Mack attack. Even with that early first blood coming in from aBeZy, it was a 4v2 actually.
Yeah.
Like aBeZy gets one, Simp gets one on the late flank, but Mack goes so big to find a couple kills at that A point, stays alive, wins a huge one-on-one towards bottom church, and the clock is on his side right there. You know that the bomb is down towards that A bomb. All you have to do is put yourself in a great position once you hear that sound cue coming here that he has received it. And eventually he was able to clutch up the round. 2 good rounds coming in from the Surge.
Indeed. 2 solid rounds so far. And one big talking point that Simp actually had in one of his post-major vlogs was about this very map in Search Destroy. Their struggles on offense maybe already starting to show its worth again. They're definitely not struggling in the kill department. That's without a doubt. Simp again with the first blood. aBeZy with the melee up close. 2 early kills. There at a Simp and aBeZy. Simp will drop as well. And just like that, it is all on to accuracy. The Iceman, you gonna give him a chance? No, you won't.
Yeah, don't count him out though. You know, accuracy, he can definitely get it done, man. We've seen some insane clutches coming out of the young man over his time competing. But Atlanta FaZe able to stop the bleeding. Believe it or not, Atlanta FaZe in all 3 of these Search and Destroy rounds, they have gotten first blood. Just the last 2 really haven't gone in their favor. Starts off with a 4v3, then a 4v2 in the previous round. But right there, they say, hey, 4v2, we're not going to mess this up ever again. Able to make that one look easy on the defensive side. Now going back on the attack. Atlanta FaZe, you saw the pressure they were putting towards that A bomb. First time, Seattle, they tried a 3-man commit towards that A side. Once again, they're going to go for it once again. Arcitys gets that first blood.
Perfect in first bloods. And Arcitys will add in the second, nearly the third. Simp will just barely escape with 2 HP. That is a 2 in the HP department. Maybe get some revenge onto Arcitys. Both of them just tagging each other up, but it's aBeZy who will find the ending elimination. Arcitys starting off that round hot and really set up his teammates for the final one.
And you can already see the adjustments. First offense, you saw Arcitys, he was going towards the middle of the map. This time he said aBeZy. Last time they 3-man pushed through it, but I'm gonna be here to assist you this time around. He gets the first blood, finds the second, almost finds the third. And that is just 2 clean rounds coming in from Atlanta FaZe. So far, these mid-game adjustments are being made. Tie 2-2. Seattle Surge. So far, their A push has been working. I would like to see them commit to that again.
Pred yet to get a kill in these last 3 rounds. He was great in the opener, but yet to find one. See if that will look to change. Mack again, very aggressive on the plant. Can he get through? Looks as if he will for now. Still halting toward the front side of church, but aBeZy's there to sniff him out. Another first blood for FaZe. As Simp rounding the corner, shuts down Sib. A 2 versus 3, Seattle in post plant and 28 seconds to work with. They've got Pred on the flank and accuracy lingering over in P5. FaZe not happy. The fact that they don't have enough information to maybe go for the defuse, but now it's all on to Pred. A 1 versus 3, it's the greatest way to start it off. Trying to play the timing, but can't get it in time. A few extra shots necessary to potentially clutch that one out, but it will not be the Aussies' day as FaZe will grab the third.
And I thought Pred put himself in a great position to at least put himself in a clutching spot. I would have liked to see him wrap completely around the A bomb site to go around that P1 side instead of stopping yourself towards Church, because once they eliminate accuracy from top fire, they know in a 3v1 situation, he has to try to check this bomb. Your best bet is to just try to stall enough time for accuracy to either stay alive or work your way all the way around that A bomb site, find one, force it to a 2v2, and then make it a more manageable situation. With only 15 seconds left, he puts himself in Church. He gets the first gunfight, but Atlanta FaZe, they put the body stack on. They're able to win the round. So now Atlanta FaZe back on the attack. This time they're going to switch it up, though. Have a couple players attack through the middle of the map, playing slowly for the objective.
aBeZy trying to lead the way. Simp, meanwhile, with the sniper. A lot of information that could be granted with it, and given the timing, Simp could either find the first blood or be first blooded. Arcitys with the objective, lays it down. As now it's time for the retake. Accuracy called upon for the initial gunfight. Meanwhile, it's Cellium who takes down Pred.
And Cellium's going big on the left flank as well. He knows there's another player in his position, and he's going to be able to win the gunfight. Huge plays coming in from Cell to force it to a 2v2. aBeZy finds one on the accuracy. Now with 23 seconds left, Simp, he's really not going to have a lot of time. He has to try to pick up this kill, but if you're Atlanta FaZe, you're just going to sit nice and dandy in the corner.
Oh, and Cellium, how does he know? How does he know? Cellium backs up inside of fire. It felt like Simp at least had one kill. I was, like you said, Jay, it felt like he didn't have the timing. But Cellium just backs up, the awareness on point, and FaZe are having a great time. Can't see, you know, how Cellium's feeling right now, but, you know.
Sure, can imagine he's smiling there. Yeah, 100%.
He's mean-mugging in the profile picture, but he's got to be dying right now.
When you're the guy that's watching the late flank and then a two-piece just walks in front of you and then eventually you close it out with the third kill as well, that puts him on a 5 spree. Already 2 kills away from picking up that glide. You see Atlanta FaZe. They're trying to put pressure through the bottom of the Church, but this is going to open that late flank. Pred reads it beautifully. He's going to have to go big in this situation.
Big spot and 2 players that he could find. Gets information for 1, but does not know. Okay. Cellium lies just ahead of him. Finds the first, but it's the initial trade back and forth for FaZe. 1 away from the glide bomb as Simp will hop with the defuse. It's up to the rookies, up to the young guns to try to stop this defuse from happening as Simp takes down 2, nearly with the third. It feels like shades of the kickoff classic. Simp takes him down and Pred is there as well. The rookies go big to give Surge another round.
Yeah, that one got a little scary though. If you're Pred, you can just tell he's playing with some hesitation in his game. Like right there, Pred, at least in his day 1 at the kickoff, he's flying top P5, potentially finds that 2-piece. But he tries to play a little more safe, allows one player to get out towards Fountain, and then aBeZy actually was able to pick up a kill. Great adjustments though from Simp to at least put himself in a position to eliminate that player off bomb as the rest of Atlanta FaZe, they would just focus on the positioning of Pred. Once Simp finding that 2, Pred eventually gets back into the play, and Seattle, they were able to take the round.
They take the round, and they also take Cellium off of the spree that he was on. Give me a break, aBeZy. Another first blood turns onto Simp. Thankfully, accuracy is at least able to even things up and now give Surge the man advantage up to Arcitys and Simp already. We have just entered this round on Tuscan. And just like that, FaZe now down to just half the team. Mack still gaining bits of information. And maybe an opening.
Yeah, Pred's all the way on the opposite side of the map. So he's going to potentially cause some problems, but this is what's going to make Simp try to be a playmaker. He doesn't spot that player in towards aLLeY. See, the comms do come in. Mack is able to take him down. So now in a 1v3 situation for Arcitys, this is going to be a difficult task. He's going to get sniffed out. And Seattle Surge, they were prepared for one hell of a round coming in from accuracy to put himself towards that back tank area. Or the back truck. He finds that trade onto aBeZy, but then finds that second kill onto Cellium. Now in a 3v2 situation, if you're Atlanta FaZe, you're kind of scrambling. You know that these guys are going to be playing safe in the back of their spawn. But then when Pred puts himself in that position all the way through that A site, they get the bomb down. They find that first kill onto Simp. Then in a 3v1 situation, Arcitys did not have the chance to clutch it as Seattle Surge tied up at 4 apiece.
Big round from the Iceman. Go ahead,
This
Jake.
is going like the kickoff. This is a little bit similar to the kickoff, man.
It is. Is it going to require a round 11? We'll have to find out. Seattle. And a must win type of situation. It just feels that way. Going down 2-0 versus Atlanta FaZe. Not many have done it, but it has happened. And somewhat recently. Here we go. Pred to the top center broken as Arcitys will find the first. Mack instantly on reply with the nade. Pred, the excellent shots toward top church. But Simp will make it now a 2 versus 2. Bomb down in church, and Pred finally gets his chance to get inside of a power position and seizes the opportunity. The headshot onto Arcitys, and now it is up to Simp. A 1v2, 35 seconds to work with. The positive for him is that he doesn't have to worry about the objective at all.
Yeah, so if I'm Simp right now, it's all about just playing this corner until you get that notification that the bomb has been picked up. Now, with 20 seconds left, Simp does hear that. It's about that time to start hitting that rotation. The bomb is going to get planted down towards this B site. So now in the 1v2, Simp is going to work his way in towards Fountain. Going to work his way in towards top B5. And just the way that Seattle are set up, they're prepared for Simp to wrap back to their base. This can catch him off guard if Simp is able to find this player on plat.
It absolutely could. Here comes Simp. Here he comes. Doesn't get the timing. I thought for a moment he could have the angle, but does not get the chance. Surge continue to play the numbers and hold on. And as you said, Jay, I mean, that 1v1 goes slightly differently as Simp doesn't maybe spot Simp out there at the plat. Things could have been totally different, but going big for the team and now puts Seattle up 5 rounds to 4. We said it has to be a W here. And now they're just 1 round away from getting it done. And aBeZy will grab the bomb and Atlanta prepare for what could be the final round. Pred so aggressive inside the middle. Pred is aggressive. Takes down aBeZy to start, but it's Arcitys on the other end. That brings it to a 3v3.
So now if I'm Pred, it's all about just playing your life. You already have Atlanta FaZe on their toes, thinking that they have to watch their front. They have to watch the flank now. You have the man advantage. You do not want to give up your life for free. Still in the 3v3 though. Bomb is going to be down towards the middle of the map. Right now, Atlanta FaZe is just trying to get any ounce of information. They are going to be able to pick up that bomb. Pred slowly trying to work his way towards that P5, but Atlanta FaZe, they're just trying to sniff out Pred. They do not want to get this bomb planted. They do not want to do anything until they notice the positioning of Pred.
Simp finds one, and Pred will fall. Just like that, a 3v3. Now a 1v3 for Mack. Bomb nearly planted. And Simp, how about the shoulder? Gets the info. And can Mack do the impossible? Early shots onto one, takes down Simp, and there we have it. Atlanta FaZe, despite dropping in the first blood, despite the crafty plays from Pred, will dig deep and give us OT, much like we saw at the Kickoff Classic.
No, Kickoff Classic. It's looking just like it. Let me tell you right now, if it's a 2v3 and Civ and Pred need to clutch up, it's going to be a straight mirror reaction coming in from the Surge, man. Here we go, round 11. Between these two teams, you're going to have Seattle on the attack. This time Atlanta FaZe, they're not going to give this A plant easy. They're going to have 2 players fully committed towards this push.
Simp doesn't see him.
If you're not the Seattle Surge, you got to be careful. Look at the pressure coming in front of aBeZy. He takes one, almost takes down the second, but at least makes it a 3v3.
Simp did not see aBeZy, but at least is able to get the trade. But Pred, he somehow finds himself on the flank. Makes the 2v2 as Cellium did get the nade to drop. Not a 3v2, but a 2v2. Now his accuracy shuts down Cellium. All up to Arcitys. He runs right past him. He just runs right past him. Arcitys manages to find him. It's a 1v1 Arcitys versus Pred. Pred grabs the bomb, but knows where Arcitys is. He knows where he is, and he'll clutch it out. Pred goes huge, locking it up in overtime. Something about Surge, something about this matchup. They have got the ice in S&D and on Tuscan specifically. Pred wins the 1v1, and now we've got ourselves a game.
such an insane round 11 between both of these teams. I thought once aBeZy puts himself in that position to get that first blood, it's immediately traded. Now in a 3v3 situation, accuracy really steps up tremendously. Even though he's sitting at 7 and 10, in the majority of these rounds that Seattle Surge were able to clutch up, he was able to at least find a 2-piece to close out the round. Picks up that first kill onto the player that was pushing through A, but then perfectly reads in the 2v2 situation of the player overextending on the left side of that outer wall, which is Cellium. Now in a 2v1 situation, you let the guy run right by you, it gets a little scary, but Brett in the 1v1, he reads it beautifully. He knows that Arcitys no longer has dead silence to work with, so he probably gets a couple sound cues in his headset, turns that corner, immediately finds the kill. And that is how you get in the series if you are the Surge, because we knew it was going to be difficult. Last time we saw him at the kickoff, they were able to at least win the 2-3-4, and the Gavutsu control, they dominated Atlanta FaZe in a 3-0. I think it's going to be a little different this go around, because Atlanta FaZe, they know how to play the map, but that is how you want to respond if you're the Surge. To take down a team like Atlanta FaZe on a map like Tuscan, that they've only now played it twice, the 2 wins that they have versus Atlanta FaZe in a 6-5, very typical out of Surge. Now they're into this series tied at 1 apiece.
They are indeed, my friend. I mean, like you said, Seattle Surge, they're able to do it. I think it was Damos on the desk who said the only real advantage, if you want to call it that Seattle could have, is going to be on that Gavutsu control. And now they've got themselves a 1-to-1 game. They've given themselves a chance, an opportunity at an upset, but it's still a very tall task. The climb of the Atlanta FaZe mountain has only just begun, and we're happy that you are on the journey with us in our very final match of the day. But we come back after the break, folks. It is time to find out who will take the advantage in this series, who is going to go up 2-1 after the break. It is time for Gavutsu Control.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to day number 2 of our Major II qualifiers. We're in the middle of a great series. It's a classic one between the Atlanta FaZe and Seattle Surge, pun fully intended. Let's go and take a look actually at our Game Fuel tactical play. We are going back to round 11. If you just missed it, well, hey, it's a perfect time to have somebody break it down, and there's nobody better than Jeremy Stud. Take it away,
right? Yeah, so right there, Pred, it was a 3v2. In favor of Atlanta FaZe, but he able to work his way all the way around the backside to find that kill onto Cellium. And this is great work coming in from actually to at least make it a 2v1 situation, even though he does get traded. But just look how much ground Pred covers on this route. He knows that no players are going to be in towards the left side. No players are going to be in towards bottom church. It's obviously a 1v1. Arcitys just picks up that kill, but you can just hear the sound cues. Arcitys runs out of that dead silence just in the nick of time. Pred just pounces on it, puts himself in a great position to close out the round with the MP40 in his hand. And now we have a series. Now we have a series going into the Gavucha control. This has not been a good map for either one of these teams. You can see the records there. 1 and 2 for the Surge, 1 and 3 for Atlanta FaZe. And even the rankings. Offensive win percentage for the Surge are going to be 10th. On the opposite side for Atlanta, they're going to be dead last. And the defense a little bit better on the side of the Seattle Surge. But you see the stats coming in from Pred at 0.97. And when I got the chance to look at the numbers before this map started, shout out to Carson once again, both of these teams basically have the same exact team KD, 0.92. So that tells me one thing. If you can pick up your kills, guarantee yourself a round number 5 in that defense, just in case it gets there, that's how you will want to see success.
Without question, my friend. Also, have to get a quick shout out to CDL Complex, who basically just tweeted out the FaZe just got first blood at 10 out of the 11 rounds that we just saw, and we're basically 0.1 seconds away from going a perfect 11 for 11. They still lose the search destroy. I'm sure Crowder's somewhere screaming, but he's got to focus the boys up for this next control. Wild stuff, Jay, but we'll see how Atlanta FaZe look to try and rebound. This will be the Surge on this attack, and starting things off quite nicely. 3 straight in the feed. And Pred, per typical, loves to make these flanks. He very well could break things open right now, as he'll find Cellium first.
Great plays coming in from Pred. Great plays coming in from the entire Seattle roster. They're already up by 4 lives. They're about to complete this 8-point. Pred does get taken down in their spawn, but they have to pay attention to where aBeZy is going to be coming from. They captured at 8-point, but aBeZy, he's just going to try to reclaim map control right now on the side of Atlanta FaZe, with accuracy holding down the top gun, picking up kill after kill on a 4-spree. Oh, good shots.
He's got to be so annoying right now. You've got Pred in your base. You've got accuracy toward the top gun. FaZe are not having a good time, specifically Cellium. An 0-5 start right on cue. Thankfully, is able to find one there onto accuracy. It very well might as well just be 3 kills that he gets awarded in that moment. A power position, accuracy makes him work for it. But so far it is Seattle dominating in lives, up 21-13. Well, no progress has been made yet at B. Pred could be the player to possibly set things up. Drops on the flank, and now it's back to the drawing board for Seattle as Civ gets taken down by the nade. Nice job there from Arcitys. Nice job from Simp from FaZe to hold this one off. As we said, Seattle in the life count advantage. We'll see what they can do with it as Surge reply back with a double kill.
And this is just great work coming in from Surge. They have been able to hold down map control for this entire offensive side so far. 17 and 9 lives remaining. Cellium, great team shots coming in from him and Arcitys to take down Mack lower beach. But if you're Atlanta FaZe, it's only a matter of time before you lose this round. You need to try to fight for some map control.
Oh, and a nice shot from aBeZy. That's a great way to do it. Accuracy again, trying to go toward the top gun. Not gonna work out this time. Pred trying to catch somebody up from FaZe. Okay. Gets his chance. We'll see what they can do with it. He's trying to find the head of Cellium. He's got a great head of hair, but he cannot find any hit markers on it. This FaZe still holding the line. 13 versus 6 and 20 seconds left. The time continues to expire. It's got to be a frustrating situation if you're Seattle. The nade to possibly open things up, but with 10 seconds, it just doesn't look likely. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to grab this, but Pred getting to it based off of lives, trying to make a play. He gets found in the back. It's a 3-for-1 trade. FaZe will hold on despite getting outslayed, despite Cellium starting slow, despite Seattle getting the A objective early. FaZe do not go down.
And that's great work coming in from Atlanta FaZe. If you're Atlanta FaZe, to be trapped in your spawn, basically not have a single ounce of map control, to be able to clutch up on that defense, even though you went down in a couple lives, I'm pretty sure they're down 4. But that is a great response from Atlanta to make sure that they're securing their defensive rounds. Now they're going into an attack. We saw what they were able to do in that one round versus OpTic. They had one of the most offensive dominant rounds that we've seen. But I think it was definitely matched better, or even better, yesterday out of NYSL, as Simp opens up with a nice early 2-piece to fight for that map control to start this game.
Yeah, you don't expect things like that to happen very often, right? The New York outslaying by like 19 kills on attack. It's not going to happen too often. But we'll see what FaZe can do on their opener. As we said, number 12 right now on Gavutu on these attacking positions. It's not been great, but you know, in a roster like this is going to be in the lab, trying to work and trying to improve the best way possible, as they will be nice and early at that B zone. aBeZy trying to lay down the pressure. So we've got somebody at B, somebody at A, and Seattle got to do a good job with some damage control. And they do exactly that, winning both the 1v1s.
And this is good work coming in from the Surge. I don't know what happened in Atlanta. I literally could not hear you for a second. But the Surge so far, they have just been holding down. Yeah, I can hear you, baby.
Okay,
yeah, I can hear you. This is good work coming in from the Surge to hold down map control. You have a couple players who are contesting towards that A point, but just good work coming in from accuracy to continuously hold down top rank, not to allow any Atlanta players to slip on through, as Pred does fine too. They're just picking up kill after kill, making this so difficult for Atlanta FaZe to even get on this point.
Doing a great job so far. 25 seconds left. FaZe yet to get really any progress done. No full ticks yet acquired, and that could be changing here soon. FaZe will look to stack, and they'll continue to win the fights. Headshot after headshot. Arcitys already thinking about pushing out top green, and Seattle say, yep, time to chalk it. They've got it. We'll back on up. Down in lives on defense. We'll see if they can make the same stand that FaZe were just able to do. Oh, I was gonna say, nice work from Cellium up close. The trades potentially there, but still favoring Seattle as the pressure gets applied now on the flank.
So right now, Atlanta FaZe, they're down by 2 kills. So from them, it's all about just making sure you're keeping it close in the kill department. As right now, Seattle Surge, they're keeping control of top rank, just making it so difficult for Atlanta FaZe to get out of their spawn. They do find that opening kill, though, onto accuracy with that nade. So you're going to see 3 players starting to approach top ring. So there's going to be 2 players from the Surge ready for this push. With a minute left on the clock, Atlanta FaZe up by 3 lives. If they take control of this top ring, it can definitely get scary for on the side of the Surge.
Oh, it definitely could. The long range shots, and somehow Cellium still has some HP left. Actually can't believe it. Cellium will go back and join with his teammates over at P1. Hello?
Oh, what a spot.
Hello? I'm taking that one in rank play. Thank you very much, MC. 30 seconds, and well, we'll see if the spot can come to good usage. Teaching everybody in the CDL, but will it accrue to a round victory? Time will tell. Down in lives, 15 seconds. There's the clearance. That's going to be 2. Simp will make it now 3. Seattle, no respawns left. Simp will at least hop on the objective and allow for the teammates to try and slay on out. Pred will go for a flank, but with those 3 dropping the way that they do, FaZe will get dealt with. And despite the clever little angle from Cellium, it will not work out for a round. Basically, an almost identical type of rounds for both of these teams, despite leading in the slang. It's not happening in the attacking round victories.
And right there, it all comes down to Mack. Like, all 3 of his teammates dropped all around the map, but Mack was in a position to at least hold down the cross in those final nick of seconds. He takes down the first player and then eventually finds a 2-piece. That 2-piece was so huge. Eventually, he does get traded, but then it just leaves Simp on that point by himself. Such a big play coming in from Mack to secure the defensive round on the side of the Surge. I'm pretty sure right there, Atlanta FaZe also was able to outslay by 4, so we're dead even in the kill department right now.
Love that. Love to see it. Even control so far throughout this game, and great pressure.
Okay.
Already displayed from aBeZy, as has been all Atlanta so far, as they'll try to change those slang numbers the best way that they can. Accuracy, the farthest pushed up player, the only man at the 50-yard line. He's got to make FaZe really work for it, trying to stay alive and Trying to provide some sort of a lane for his teammates. Can Accuracy go big? Continuing to win fights, and he'll go back toward the top gun before he gets made quick work of. Nice nade comes through from Simp, takes him down. 40 seconds, and it just continues to be this same story. Can Seattle finally get to this objective? They've had to work so desperately even to get to this point. And we'll see what they can do now in their first opportunity at it.
They have one player that's on it, one player that's all the way pushed out towards green, so Pred has to try to go big, but unfortunately he does get taken down. First ticket progression does get completed at A, but there's still a lot of pressure coming in from Atlanta FaZe to try to not allow them to complete this point. Number 8 on your mini-map in Simp. Trying to be a nuisance in their spawn. He does get taken down by Accuracy, so that's great work coming in from Seattle. They're picking up kill after kill. They should be able to close out this 8 point and extend time by a minute.
Seattle, the one opportunity and really the last chance potentially at it, and they'll make it work. Another minute added to the clock. And really, it's the pushes through green that they're going to rely on. FaZe, aware of such, decide to place themselves toward the top side of the map. And we always like to say it, as Mack finds himself now on 5. A beautiful double kill there on the Cellium and aBeZy. A big situation for Surge. They drop in this position, and they could get picked apart off of spawn. But Accuracy continues to win the fights on players trying to make the flank. Meanwhile, it's Mack, despite sitting on the spree, trying to set aside the streak and value the objective instead. Nice 1v1 win versus Cellium. It's not the glide bomb, but it is the time stopped at 55 seconds.
Yeah, if you're Mack, you just want to stay alive. You want to allow your teammates to look over you. If you can pick up a kill, that's going to be even better. But Cellium, with the Kobe over the top, is able to find 2 kills. Arcitys with the 3rd. So just what looked like Seattle Surge having full map control, Atlanta FaZe answer and take it right on back. 40 seconds remaining. You see all of Surge. They're currently down by 1 kill. Make it 2 as aBeZy does pick that up. But they're just going to play this slow. They know this is basically an impossible round to win on the offense. So much map control coming in from Atlanta FaZe. You do not want to go down big in the kill column.
It's fair to say, Jay, we cannot wait until that update comes. When it comes
can't wait.
Been told it's not too far away. Not going to come down to kills anymore in those round 5s. And I'm sure there's a lot of teams out there who are celebrating that. Nice little angle from Accuracy. We got everybody showing us some spots.
Right? I can't wait to get into rank later.
I can't wait to not play with you because you're too high ranked for me, buddy.
It's unfortunate, pal. Unfortunate.
It really is. What, you're only like 1,300 SR ahead of me? Something like that?
Yeah. That means you're losing a lot. We need to lock in, Lando. Come on.
It is. Yeah, I don't know. It's the MP40 update. It just really threw me off. That's it. I'm still running the F8, by the way. It's really not good, Jay.
Okay. All right.
I really do need to lock in.
Yeah, we need to lock in. It's all good, though. Atlanta FaZe, they were able to clutch up on the defense. I'm pretty sure they were able to walk away with that round, at least up by 1 kill. So if you're Atlanta FaZe, you want to make sure you keep the kill department close, just in case it does go to that round number 5. But look at the pressure coming from Atlanta FaZe. They're going to commit towards his B point. Pred has to try to go big. He gets taken down. That's an early 2 kills. Simp, going to be the player that watches Cross. He does take down 1, takes down 2. And just like that, what looked like a great push from Atlanta FaZe to start us off, Simp shuts it down.
He does indeed. Finally gets dealt with. The Cellium now enters 4 in a row territory. Mack staying alive as well. It's Simp on one side, it's Mack on the other, as the nade will finally deal with him. But regardless of that, Seattle players on both sides of the map doing an excellent job and holding off Atlanta the best way that they can. Cellium now on 5 in a row as Simp hunts through the middle of the map, trying to find something. Cellium now 6 in a row. 1 away from the glide bomb, utilizing the spot again, and that will be it for the streak. 7 in a row. Accuracy's got to be heated.
Now this is where
the glide bomb.
This is where it gets scary on the side of the Surge, because now if you're Atlanta FaZe, the only thing you're thinking about is completing this A objective. You have that glide bomb to work with. You try to approach towards B, as you see Cellium is trying to take more map control, as a couple of new players from the Seattle Surge are deciding to give up this 8 point. But it's only a matter of time before he calls in this glide bomb. Huge one-on-one gunfight comes in from Accuracy. Pred follows up with the 2nd. And that 8 point it still isn't going to be completed. Seattle Surge, they're actually going to push it. They're going to be able to get on it as well and stop that 2nd ticket progression coming in.
They absolutely are. Accuracy, great shots that are on to Cellium. Staying up. And with 20 seconds left, this FaZe continue to fall. That could be what decides the round. Cellium gonna have to hold on to that glide bomb for this round number 5. Seattle up in lives, at least right now in this round.
It's even.
Fred falls, and every one of these lives means so much. Jay, where do we sit on that?
It's even. It's even right now.
Oh, no.
I don't know how this is going to go. I don't think I've ever seen a tie at the kill going into a round number 5. But okay. Which team is going to get defense? Which team is going to get offense?
Somebody have a coin?
Still had that glide bomb to work with. Yeah, coin flip might be good right now. Unless my math is terrible. If my math is terrible, I'm really sorry about this, guys. But in my mind, I think it's going to be tied.
Lord knows you're better with numbers than I am. And there you have it. Seattle will get the attacking side for round 5. It's got to be heart-wrenching. It's got to be heartbreaking, but we'll see if they can dig deep regardless. Accuracy, he goes strong over at A, when in reality, it's actually the push over toward B. All out aggressive for Pred. It will force the unfortunate team kill, but aBeZy will pick up off of it regardless. A few unfortunate spots for FaZe, but they rebound, and a great play at that. Both teams tempting to try and make some plays over at that B zone, but it's been sniffed out every time from the defense. Seattle just moments away from getting the early A zone capture as Arcitys, much like his tiny terror duo, look to force the issue over on the flank, sitting behind enemy lines. It could make some plays happen. Meanwhile, it's Pred also making a play.
This is great pressure coming in from Seattle Surge. They're able to find 3 kills in the feed. Last player farthest pushed up is going to be Simp. He is going to be able to at least take down 1. He does have that top break control to potentially contest this player on towards B. As Atlanta FaZe able to eliminate Pred from that position and take down accuracy. And even though they're going to be able to give up this 8 point for free to the Seattle Surge, time is going to be extended by a minute. It's only a matter of time before Cellium actually uses that glide bomb for a defensive hold.
That's right, partner. And then has to sit in the minds of Seattle.
Yeah.
Throughout that capture, sitting in the boat for now. Maybe trying to bait out the streak. It's not going to happen.
Got to. You have to bait it out.
As they pretty much try to get from checkpoint to checkpoint. From boat over toward green, and maybe the back of the base is how they're going to get this done. Early trades are out, and it is favoring Surge for the moment. Simp doing everything he can to try and stay alive. A few of his teammates at P1, they go for the pinch.
Oh!
Continues to stay alive. Now on 4 in a row, but Surge trying to be careful with the glide bomb that could come in at a moment's notice. At any second, it could get brought in from the skies. When does Arcitys look to try and invest this? Excuse me, Cellium bringing it in. It's not Arcitys, it's in fact Cellium. He'll finally get the timing and take down accuracy in the objective.
Hey, look at aBeZy.
aBeZy can make the play.
aBeZy takes down 1. Now he's able to take control of that top ring. Challenges the second as well. Does get traded by Simp. Simp been having himself one hell of a map. He was 22 and 35. Map number 1 with a 0.6. In order to fight against Atlanta FaZe, you need to be able to step up in the slang. 31 and 26, having a complete turnaround here. But with 35 seconds left, 10 to 9 lives remaining. This is basically going to be the last push for the Seattle Surge. They have ring control. You have a lot of pressure coming in from the back. They're able to chain a couple of kills together. Simp trying to do everything he can from low beach, but that's going to be every player on the side of Atlanta FaZe eliminated from that 50-yard line. Everybody spawning in the back of their base. Seattle Surge get on the point.
Oh, here we go. 8v6, 23 seconds. Accuracy at least. Trying to set up his teammates to put that life advantage to good use. Pred will sniff him out. He'll find 3. It is Pred with the triple. Atlanta, no respawns left. Accuracy, he will fall in the objective. Time is going to continue to flow as Arcitys finds 2 of his own. It's a 5 versus 3. Mack's going to get found out as well. aBeZy taking him down. 4v3, somebody from Seattle is gonna have to slay out or get to the objective. Our FaZe gonna hold on. Accuracy, he's gotta run. He's gotta get here. He'll stop the clock, but he drops, and it will be Atlanta FaZe clutching up somehow, some way. They will walk away with the round 5 W. It felt like Seattle, it felt like it was theirs. Moments away. as the gvoo2 control will slip through their fingers, and FaZe now up 2-1.
That had to be the most difficult gvoo2 control on the defensive side that I have ever seen from Atlanta FaZe. Remember, the very first offense, Seattle Surge, they put a lot of pressure on Atlanta FaZe. They went down to their final couple of numbers, about 6 lives remaining, and they were able to clutch up. And right there towards the very end, I thought once Pred found that 3-piece, it was going to be over. But Atlanta FaZe, they never gave up. Once they shut down Pred out of their base, they know all we have to do is set up a bunch of teammates onto the player on point. You eliminate him, you watch the cross, and then it only leaves one player, which is that player that was outer fence. But as we take a look, let's just relive it. Let's take a look at the highlights of the final seconds of this game. As you see, Pred, that's not the final second, it's still 23-20, but this was a great start from Seattle Surge. The amount of pressure they were able to put on early into this round is great work. Pred, he lives and dies in the back of this spawn. Every time you spawn up, if you're playing against Pred, make sure you turn around on gvoo2 control, because he's most likely will be there.
That's facts.
Sib goes big though. Sib finds these couple of kills, but in those final moments, Atlanta FaZe were not panicking. They did not have a lot of lives remaining. 7v3, aBeZy finds that opening kill onto Pred. Now they take that player off a point. If you're number 6, your job is to simply hold down this cross. Arcitys does a great job of doing that. The last player farthest pushed up has to be Mack. They take care of him, and then now, with 12 seconds left, this play simply all comes down to Pred. If Pred can somehow, someway find a kill and get on this point, that's the only way that the Surge are going to be able to at least try to take this map, because they were spawning so damn far away. Once they eliminate Pred from the back of their spawn, your main focus from Atlanta FaZe is literally watch top ring cross. If we do not let them get on this point, we should be able to close it out, and that is what you call clutch and ice in the veins of Atlanta FaZe to take a commanding 2-1 lead in this series.
Icy stuff from the Atlanta boys. It was a 2v6 clutch on control yesterday for Seattle on Tuscan. It is a 3v7 clutch out of Atlanta today on gvoo2. That's what it takes for them to go up 2-1. As we said, man, like, you know, we're coming into this series, we're talking about how, hey, there could be an opportunity for Seattle. They're coming, right? They're coming out hot. They want to walk away with this dub. The Seattle franchise wants to hold over Atlanta's head something, and at the very least, it could be their matchups versus each other. But FaZe, they get the big W. Now it's time to focus our attention toward this next Berlin hardpoint. And if mine serves me right, partner, I want to say both these teams haven't played this a lot, at least for FaZe. I think they've only played it like one time.
Yeah, so this was like FaZe's auto veto, but obviously as we go throughout the rest of the year, they're going to want to expand their map pool. So they're sitting currently on this map 1-0, but this is like when you're playing in these qualifier matches, you want to try to go out there and basically use this as practice. They're going up against a team in the Seattle Surge who haven't really had a lot of success on this. They're sitting at 2-4. This has not been one of their strongest hard points. Their best hard point has to be Tuscan, and it's unfortunate that's not going to be in this series. So for the Seattle Surge to come back in that control the way that they did, even though they lost, like, where has this Surge been these last couple of matches? Like, this Surge team, it looks like they can compete with the best, especially when you're pushing a team like Atlanta FaZe to around number 5, where you potentially should have been able to close it out and be up 2-1 in this series. Now you're going into a Berlin hardpoint. This is where it gets a little scary, obviously, because they got a little bit more reps on it. If you're Atlanta FaZe, you have to just have to make sure you're doing exactly what you did in that first hardpoint. You start off hot, potentially pick up some streaks, but you need to make sure that you're keeping those rotations on point. Because on the side of the Surge, especially on this map, their team KD on this is a 0.83. They really struggle when they're just trying to pick up these kills, and it simply comes off those rotations. If they rotate, get some great holds versus a team like Atlanta FaZe, we should have had the potential to see a map number 5.
Yeah, you do indeed. One guy who stepped up dramatically in that gvoo2 control was not just Cellium, but it was the guy on the right side of the screen. The player who actually sat on the bench of Atlanta FaZe last year, that being Sib. He goes big in the gvoo2 control, so close to walking away with that dub. As you said, buddy, Seattle with slightly more experience on this map, but it's not really treated them all that kindly. I went back through the binders and I found the information. A 250-142 loss versus Toronto and a 250-186 loss versus Paris. Arguably one of the most difficult losses that a team has suffered this season. Can Seattle force the game 5 and maybe end this 5-game losing streak? We will have to find out, as here we go into Berlin and starting it off nicely.
It's a good start from the Surge. You're starting on that plat side, so the fact that they were able to get a clean 4 dead basically has this hill uncontested as Pred is putting so much pressure towards Trains. With 20 seconds left, if you're Atlanta FaZe, you have to start thinking about that rotation because Pred is finding kill after kill before he eventually does get taken down. And Mack, he's going to be that player from the surge here. It's going to have a huge one-on-one going up against Cellium. Actually, multiple players from Atlanta FaZe coming in, so Mack has to try to go big here.
I love that play from Pred. He's like, you know what? There's a door. I'm just going to try to open it. Oh, and Mack, he's got some support. He and Simp all of a sudden together. Arcitys doing everything he can to pretty much just give some information to his teammates. Let him know where Mack seems to be hiding, still lingering, eventually found out. FaZe with some free seconds as Arcitys will have some support fire. And for the first time after our first hill and a half, it will be FaZe getting some seconds on the board. But Surge, they have to be careful. They don't want to give away spawns for next, but they still want to try and contest this and doing a great job so far.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of just putting on the pressure from that street side. They know that they basically have the spawns locked up.
Well, that's
as they're finding kill after kill. The farthest player pushed up has to be Cellium, but with Simp spawning the way that he was towards that top plat, they should know it's basically locked down. As they're still finding a lot of time off of this P2 hardpoint. If you're Atlanta FaZe, you have to try to break on this because you need to try to change this towards that fire hill. Trades going back and forth. Cellium able to get the better of Pred in that gunfight. But now you start thinking about that rotation. Seattle Surge are going to be here already.
A great shot from Seattle, as you said, buddy. Over at Library, they do an excellent job at least contesting, not allowing for many seconds to go toward the Atlanta end.
Okay.
And a few shaky shots over at the street. There goes accuracy as well. A very developed push for FaZe as they will gain spawns now over toward the top left of your map. We'll see what they can do with it as Cellium ends his spree on 4 in a row. Pred still finding some kills and fire, trying to heat up, but not in the way that he unfortunately will get taken out. Arcitys will drop as well. FaZe with the time, FaZe with the close spawns, but will allow for them to get a few seconds. And a nice shot from Cellium.
Great work coming from Atlanta FaZe to execute the brick on that and at least get a good 40 seconds off of that P3 hardpoint to get themselves back into this game. Now it's all about the rotation. Pred does find that kill onto Arcitys, but does he read the player in aBeZy?
Oh,
he does not. aBeZy's going to win a huge one-on-one. So now these are where the spawns can start to get a little funky. Yeah, Pred is going to be spawning towards that back train alley, but if aBeZy can win this gunfight, this is where you'll start to see these spawns trying to flip out.
And as we said,
or not.
Oh, well, maybe not is right. Back and forth we go. aBeZy up and inside of the hill, does get a moment for some breathing room, but quickly 3 make it 4 go down for the Seattle end. And I don't know about you, Jay, but a Surge currently locked things down at train. It just feels like the sense of urgency is there from this Seattle team. There's been so many people who have talked about, oh, hey, you know, this is just a team that figured out the game early. It just feels like they are playing with so much weight on their shoulders, the presence, the awareness. And the big thing for Seattle as well, my friend, is that they don't really know. Like, they don't have a result to prove otherwise. They don't have a result yet to prove that, no, we weren't just a team at the beginning of the game. But this victory would definitely do that if they can get at least to a game 5.
And right now, just the way they are playing this hard point is textbook. Up by 80 points. Players are taking long routes. As you see, Pred, he was able to flip these spawns and take control of that plat side. So now spawning all of Atlanta FaZe towards that back warehouse. And if you're Atlanta FaZe, you have to try to at least get some good chunk of time off of this to get back into this game. Trades going back and forth. Arcitys is going to be the last player up that tries to flip these spawns, and he actually does so as well. So now you have all of Atlanta FaZe spawning out towards that top plat, but this time is going to go uncontested for the Surge for a couple seconds.
Hello!
Oh my!
Hello! A 14 team spree out of the Seattle Surge. A great hold at trains, and are we going to see a perfect hold at P5 as well? Cellium, of course, laughing his way to the nade kill. Down by 100 seconds, the Surge are coming out and not giving this one away. They want a game 5, and it almost feels like it has to be a game 5. In talks of rotation, Simp trying to make a play on the flank and seeing the boys from Atlanta try to flip the spawns and try to make something after what has been a lackluster first side of rotations. Arcitys walking through the office trying to make it his own, trying to stay alive as he'll have some teammate support, but so far it has been all Seattle up to this point. An 80-point advantage, but FaZe come roaring back as Arcitys now sits on 4 in a row.
And now Pred, He tries to be the playmaker, but he eventually does get taken down. So Atlanta FaZe successfully break into this P1 hardpoint. Now with 30 seconds left, you already see what the Surge are doing. They're trying to flip these spawns. They want to get towards the backside of that warehouse, or potentially at least set up that pinch to not give Atlanta FaZe all this time. Cellium is able to find a huge two-piece to slow down the pressure from the Surge, make it 3. It's gonna be a huge one-on-one between him and Accuracy. Just gonna try to stay alive if you're Cellium, jumping back and forth, hit him with the bunny hop, but Accuracy is able to walk away with the gunfight. So now Atlanta FaZe are able to get back into this game at least a good 25 to 30 seconds off of that P1, but now it all comes down to this rotation right here. You have to be able to get a good chunk of time off of this when you're securing these spawns.
How about Mack? Mack trying to make the play. An excellent game so far. 20 and 10. Gets called upon again, but aBeZy's there to read him. It doesn't set up somebody like Simp to go for more of an off angle. He gets challenged. aBeZy will handle him as well. Down by 100. FaZe are right back in this game. We'll see what Seattle look to do, how they attempt to try to break this. Mack catching out players from the top, and just like that, Surge, they break right on through again. As we said, Jay, where has this Seattle team been? They are breaking hills. They are running right through. Mack sits a double positive, for God's sake, and already trying to contest for this next rotation. FaZe will handle that. They will have spawns for P3, but a great break for Surge as they are ever close to breaking the double century mark, a hill that could define this game. If Surge can break, it would feel like the ultimate dagger, as here comes the glide bomb.
Glide bomb's gonna get called in, but you have all of Atlanta FaZe just sitting inside. They're gonna be playing this tight, so this opens up that street side for the potential pinch to come in. Number 2, and Accuracy is able to work his way all the way around, finds 1 kill, potentially finds a second, but a good team shots coming in from Cellium to shoot that car, get that nade kill. But here comes Mack. Mack is able to flip these spawns. Mack with a great two-piece to open up this break for the Seattle Surge. 30 seconds remaining on this point.
Mack goes big, but FaZe still spawning here. We'll see if they can get the time. We'll see if they can get the time. They still continue to drop. Mack hanging out, taking a breather, and not trying to damage the upholstery at the meantime. 13 seconds left. Pred not able to win the 1v1. It is a race now toward the next hill, as Surge at least try to apply some pressure, keep FaZe in the back of the base. You even see the stuns being tossed out. Anything that they can do to halt Atlanta's progress, they will try to make happen. Pred sent forth. He gets dealt with as well. Surge, no, it's just a matter of time before FaZe arrive. But what will they do? Once they get here, they run right into the perspective of Mack down the barrel as he looks at 2 more kills. 1 more player on the flank is going to be aBeZy. He tries to make his way in the hard point as well. Gets dealt with too. 20 seconds away. Can Surge force the game 5?
Atlanta FaZe all spawning out towards trains. Accuracy hitting a great two-piece to at least slow down the pressure for now. 23 seconds remaining on this P3 hardpoint. Seattle can still get it done. If you're Atlanta FaZe, you have to try to contest this to the nick of time, but you do not want these spawns to flip. You need to get a contest in. Cellium trying to go big, but Simp answers with 2 of his own. They can still close it out here.
They absolutely can. They absolutely can. Somebody from FaZe has to at least contest for a moment. Pred doing everything he can to watch over. And Seattle, a statement game on the Berlin. 0-2 on the map, but who cares? There is something about Seattle versus FaZe that just has got upset written all over it. As we said, Jay, the sense of urgency is there. FaZe, no, or rather Surge, no. We've lost 5 games straight. Let's take it to a franchise that we have bettered in our last 2 encounters. A 250 to 161 game. Are you kidding me?
I can see why Atlanta FaZe, this was their auto veto. They were just struggling on the rotations, man. Like Seattle Surge, they started off with a great P1 getting 50 seconds. And then Atlanta FaZe, they put themselves in a great position to at least respond on that P2 hardpoint with the spawns in the back warehouse. But Surge, they were able to control the spawns for that P3 and contest it basically all the way down to the very last second of that time. You did not allow Atlanta FaZe to get even 20 seconds off of that P2 hardpoint. And then as of that, when the Seattle Surge, they just started to get a little bit more hot. You were able to chain that P2 to that P3, grow the lead a little bit more. But then towards the later half of the game, we have to give a shout out to Mack, man. This guy was stepping up tremendously. He puts himself in great positions with that AR in his hands, finds a 2-piece left and right. And while he's doing that, the entire time his SMG duo in Pred is flipping the spawns. That was what you call textbook hardpoint coming in from Atlanta FaZe to force it to the game 5. I'm telling you, every time we cast these two teams, it's always one hell of a series, and I expect nothing less.
Oh man, this is wild. Like, surely this isn't gonna happen, Jay. Surely not.
I don't know. It can.
We talked about it. They got to be angry. They got to be so ticked after their loss in the finals at the Major, and now they've got Seattle nipping at their heels again. My goodness, what an installment. The third time these teams have matched up. Obviously, we've been casting them, and every time it is Seattle with the upset. It happened at the Kickoff Classic. It happened at Major 5 on LAN. Can it happen again? As we said, it is the trilogy. Will it be Seattle coming out on top again with the upset when they need a victory the most? Or will FaZe rebound for the first time in a few months versus this Surge franchise? If you have not done so already, tweet out the stream, hashtag CDL 2022. It is going to be a game. It is going to be a brawl. When we come back, it is Berlin Search and Destroy, Surge versus FaZe.
I'm too exhausted, I needed the energy, needed to pick me up. I'm in your movie, but this is my cinema. I got the power, I'm built to devour. Anyone coming against me, I tower. I don't cave under pressure. Some of y'all leaving here in a stretcher. Took my time to go and get better. I was reading like a matador with that Red Bull. Oh, no, you can't stop me. I'm running my own play. For the game win, I came to pin anything that gets in my way. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Energy, energy, energy. I need that. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Mountain Dew.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final match here at day 2 of our Major II Qualifiers. Lado and Standy here to guide you through another Atlanta FaZe versus Seattle Surge game. It is the trilogy match in which Seattle have won the last 2 encounters. They win at Major 5 back in Cold War, a game 5 in which Classic goes off. Then at the Kickoff Classic, where Seattle were able to take it 3-1. Can they do it again? Can Seattle, when they need a W the most off of 5 straight losses, get the job done again versus FaZe? Or will Atlanta finally come out on top and get something going after a major loss in the finals versus OpTic Texas? We're about to find out, Jay, and so far it has been the Mack attack show.
Yeah, this is going to be an absolute banger of a game 5 between both of these teams. Obviously, on one side for Atlanta FaZe, they have a 3-2 record. For the opposite side for the Surge, they're sitting at 2-4. And the 2 wins that they do have, if you remember, it's all the way into round 11. Accuracy, for some reason, hits different during the later half of this game. But here we go, early on. The pressure coming in from Seattle Surge towards the safe bomb. Pretty sure Mack was able to at least spot that player in aBeZy on the site. Oh, but he runs right into the pre-aim of Pred. Pred is able to get the first blood. Arcitys with the answer.
Owen tossed out the nade. So close to Mack. And not able to lay down the objective. Just a half second away from laying down the bomb at that A site. And Simp will be able to pick it up and also find a kill. On top of that, he also escapes with his life, for God's sake. Meanwhile, player number 2, in accuracy, is set up for the crossfire over for the top side of the map and trying to provide some clearance. Arcitys will get the read, and you can see how fast on the hunt that he will be. Both teams with numbers and both teams with information, as the bomb will be planted at B. Now up to FaZe on the retake.
And the accuracy, he's playing this round flawlessly. He's holding on the cross to give the information to his teammate in Sib when one player is gonna cross towards that B bomb. But with 30 seconds left, if you're Atlanta FaZe, you cleared out the back of their base. You know that there's gonna be no one playing the clutch spot towards that top warehouse. It's all about putting the pressure on towards this bomb. Accuracy gonna be able to give up his positioning, but now this is where Simp can collapse.
They might try to hop with the defuse. They might have to try to hop with the defuse. Oh, the shot of a lifetime takes down Cellium. Arcitys will not be on the defuse, but accuracy is there to wind it out. You can see on Seattle's faces what the opening round means. How about the snap from Sib? Accuracy there for the 1v1. Incredible stuff in our opener.
Such a big play coming in from Sib. Such a big one-on-one. If he does not win that gunfight, the round is definitely a little bit more difficult. But I think accuracy, he still puts himself in a great position to at least clutch up the round as he wrapped all the way back on the opposite side of the spawn in the final seconds of that defuse. Atlanta FaZe were not able to get it, so Seattle Surge answered early into this game. Now we go into the attacking round with Atlanta FaZe, and look how much pressure they're putting on towards B. aBeZy's already in their spawn.
Oh, he is, and he's going to get the information on the Pred. You can almost write this off as an instant first blood. Hello, a little bit of shaky shots. Still finds it regardless. Sib keeping up that hot spree, is able to find one on the Simp before he gets traded out. And speaking of trades, accuracy now brings it to a 2 versus 2. Bomb laid down. And now we'll see how Surge look to retake this. An equal situation to what we saw last time, but this time it is Mack walking away with the opening kill. And based off of accuracy's position, he knows that he's got to at least be somewhere around the bomb site. He's been holding this ADS for so long, goes for the bait, but Arcitys wins the first, baits out the shots, but can't make it land. It will be Mack clutching out the 1v1. Will get the defuse as well. Finds both kills in the 2v2 and gets the objective down on top of it. 2 big rounds in both of them. going the way of Surge.
And I thought that round was going to completely get shut down on the side of Atlanta FaZe once aBeZy puts himself all the way in their spawn. He was able to find that first blood, but then Simp, he goes so massive, at least picking up 1 kill before he drops at that B bomb, which allows his teammates to eventually set up on that long flank. You had Accuracy and Mack hit that long route to set up that pinch, but I think the biggest kill had to be taking down aBeZy towards that middle map, because right there you saw Atlanta FaZe, they planted that bomb to see it from top fire. Once they get that kill onto aBeZy, that's basically playing the clutch spot, they know that Arcitys has to be in bomb. They played the trades beautifully. Mack goes using a one-on-one to now take a commanding 2-0 lead. And right now you see the Surge. They started out that very first offense with pure aggression. They're just going to slow it down a little bit this round.
So far, Jay, I mean, obviously we're in a game 5 for God's sake, but it just feels like this Seattle team is back at Kickoff Classic. Like, it just feels like this team is firing again. Pred has been great. Sib has returned back to form, and this has been a series and a half there from Mack. As he'll be there to plant the bomb. The continuous objective plays over at this B site. aBeZy could easily get caught off guard. Oh, and Pred with a nice little angle. It's going to be able to feed that information over to his teammates. A nice entry there for Accuracy. Cellium drops. And that is a sweat off the brow type of situation. If you're Seattle, there goes Arcitys. aBeZy's at least able to find 1, but here comes Pred around the corner for 1 and also stays alive. aBeZy with no time to go for the defuse. It doesn't matter. It will be another round for Seattle. Round the corner, aBeZy goes, but he will hit the floor hard. And Seattle will grab their 3rd round in a row.
Right now, Seattle Surge, they are playing perfect search and destroy. And on the opposite side for Atlanta FaZe, they're playing a little shook. Like, I don't know if you can get that feeling. For me, it's looking like Atlanta FaZe, they're not really trying to go for the chow. They're not putting themselves in a great position to close out a bunch of these rounds. Like Cellium, he was that player that watches the cross. You watch the guy cross, but then you commit 3 players towards the flank. And at that point, it's a 4v4 retake. If you don't start with that opening blood, it's going to basically be impossible to win. Right now, the Surge, they're just steamrolling through this game 5.
Cellium 0-3, Simp 1-3. The top S&D players have been silenced through our first 3, and Mack again with the first blood to open it up. Thankfully, aBeZy is at least able to find 1 himself. An instant 3 versus 3 as Pred drops. There goes Mack as well. A great attack. Into the office they go, but now it comes down to Sib. A 1v3. He gets caught off guard. And finally, FaZe are able to answer and put 1 up on the board.
For some reason, between these two teams in search and destroy, whoever gets the first blood has been losing the round. We saw it in the very first S&D. Atlanta FaZe, they got 10 out of 11 first bloods, but they still ended up losing that search and destroy. Right there, Mack opens up with the beautiful starting nade. But when aBeZy is able to even up the numbers by taking out Accuracy, they just put on the all-out pressure in towards that bomb. They play the kills, force it to a 3v1 with Simp all the way across the map. And finally, Atlanta are able to get on the board. They just need to be able to stop the bleeding right now with this defensive win, because it's going to be a 3-on-3 all-out head bash towards this A-bomb.
Was it going to be the rotation?
Okay.
Player 3, the man with the bomb, decides to make the rotation and lead the way over at the street. Accuracy's here. And Cellium, the only player really in a position to stop this again. But at the back of your minds, Pred with the first blood, Mack with the second, as they will open things up with the MP40. All 4 players drop in about 4 seconds. Pred is getting loud, and you can see on the face of Seattle a level of calmness, a level of comfort. And on the other end for FaZe, it's panic.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen Seattle Surge smile in quite some time, but they are feeling themselves right now. It all starts with Accuracy giving that call out to how many players are crossing towards that A bomb. Their early round commitment was probably like, hey, let's just all out attack towards A. We're basically going to play off Accuracy's call out. Once he gives that call out, the bomb rotates back towards B, and then they just slowly pick apart the players from Atlanta FaZe. It's always been that one island player that's just messing up the plays from on the side of Atlanta. It's been Pred, it's been Mack. But at least going into this round, aBeZy, Simp, and Arcitys are able to find 3 early kills, turning into a 4v1 immediately. Simp lasts alive, and that's going to be a clean round from Atlanta FaZe.
It's just like you just know, right? The FaZe have the potential to do this in search and destroy.
Yeah.
You see it on display right there. And what both of their round victories so far, it has been these aggressive pushes over at A, where regardless if they get the first blood or not, they are just storming through. That will be something to think about the next time that we see FaZe on the attack, is whether or not they'll continue to do what works or maybe change things up. But down 4-2. It is already time for the swing round. A much needed victory if you're FaZe. Accuracy to watch the cross, and Seattle to make the plays over at A. They've got a 3v1 advantage, and Arcitys will back up.
Yeah, if you're Arcitys, all you want to do is just try to get one, or at least get out with your life. But Pred puts on the pressure, is able to find a 2-piece. Simp follows up with a third. So now it's Cellium all left up to him in a 1v4 situation. His position is going to get called out. He does go for the challenge onto Pred, able to win the first. But now in a 1v3 situation, bomb planted at A.
Don't let MC get any bit of information. Don't let him get any easy kills. The first one on the Pred also beams Mack as well.
Hey.
Pulls out the pistol, ready for the challenge versus Simp. Oh, and Simp will take it. He will take it. It felt like Cellium had all three ready in his line of sight, but not able to walk away with it. I know we talked about Pred maybe throwing away his life at the end, but the way that he starts off this round is unbelievable. And now Seattle find themselves up 5-2.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm Atlanta FaZe or not, but you got to see the way that they're playing this search and destroy. It's literally all on accuracy. Accuracy is giving them the play calls on the start of these offensive rounds based off the cross. He sees no one crossing towards A, and they're just going to fully commit towards that bomb plant and plant it. But now we go into the defensive round for Seattle. They already start off with the first blood, all out aggression towards B.
Oh, and they find the second. They instantly find the second. It's all on to Cellium and Arcitys. Is this going to happen? Is it going to be deja vu again as Cellium falls? It's all on to Arcitys. A 1 versus 3. A minute left on the clock, and thankfully he's got the objective on his back because he is going to need all the help that he can get. All up to him. Everybody from Seattle focused, aware of his position. And here he comes. Pred with the first bit of info as Arcitys has to back on up. Knows that somebody has to be toward the street. Somebody's toward the street, but Seattle again will take out the Atlanta FaZe. It's the trilogy as they will complete the upset, not just once, not just twice, but in their 3 encounters versus each other. It is deja vu. And you can say goodbye to the 5-game losing streak. And welcome back, Seattle.
Where the hell has Seattle Surge been in these last couple of matches? Because just watching them in this series, you can just tell they were playing with a little bit more pep in their step, and they knew exactly how they wanted to execute the game plan. Like I said, accuracy, he only goes 3 and 4 in that last map, 398 damage. It might not seem like he was doing a lot, but just the information that he was giving to his young teammates on how they wanted to attack some of these offensive rounds was beautiful, man. Straight textbook search and destroy. To win it versus a team like Atlanta FaZe 6-2, Atlanta FaZe, they don't really have a lot of success on this, but then for accuracy and the boys to really clutch up in the game 5, it all starts with accuracy, given the call-outs on offense, man. Like, that was their bread and butter every single time. Calls out the cross. Once you see at least 2 people cross, you have the man advantage. You decide at that point if you want to hit the rotation back or not. But in their very last offense, you see Arcitys, he was prepared for the gunfight versus accuracy across the map. But if you're accuracy, you're not worried about the gunfight. You're worried about the information. The fact that you see nobody cross that A bomb, you already know it's going to be a freebie bomb plan. All we have to do is watch our flank, watch the middle of the map, and they executed that game plan flawlessly in that map number 5 to take this series. Let me tell you, man, if Seattle Surge are ever in a slump, just give them a series versus Atlanta FaZe. They're going to be out of it quick.
Oh, that's without a doubt, my friend. Let's go and take a look at our Scump play of the game, and it is that final round. I know you've broken it down multiple times, but Jay, let us know. How did Seattle do it? Specifically, how do they pull this off in the final round?
It's just all teamwork. Simp opens up with that first blood, but then Mack is there for the immediate trade before his teammate even drops. So now it's a 4v2. Cellium takes down 1, gets that kill onto Mack, but then Pred putting on the pressure that he's been doing every single search and destroy so far in this series, going for the flanks, always trying to put himself in a position to get a trade, finds that kill, forces it to a 3v1. Now, if you're Arcitys on the offensive side, this is not going to be an easy task to get done. They have the B-bomb cross. You have multiple players that are sitting towards the middle of the map. Once they figure out Arcitys' position, And the 1v3 situation is not going to be easy to get done. They set up the crossfire, perfectly executed search and destroy. Great teamwork out of the Surge. I feel like that's the thing that we've seen that we haven't seen in the last couple of matches. It's just simply the teamwork. You can just tell the comms are flowing, the vibes are flowing, everything was going right for the Seattle Surge for them to come out and close this series out. What a day. What a day, man.
What a day indeed. Like, you're not giving it this like, okay, well, you know, we obviously have Seattle versus Atlanta again. Maybe it'll happen again. Who really knows? But they do it. They're able to pull it off. 3 straight victories. Seattle, the underdog story, but they get it done. And as we said, my friend, in a series where they arguably have to. They've got a very difficult schedule coming up. A W here changes everything. We got to bring back in the desk because I got to lay down after a series like that. I don't know what it is, Veli. Seattle, they just turn up versus Atlanta FaZe. It's happened again, buddy.
You guys make no sense.
No, not at all. Yo, they desperately needed that. But the bounce back win against a team known as the Atlanta FaZe, you know, the best team in esports last year. Yo, that was incredible.
That was incredible. Yeah. And honestly, like, they could have won that control as well.
Yeah.
Literally, like, the kills were tied. They ended up getting offense in the last round. And they had a kill lead, and they were on the point. Unfortunately, didn't end up getting it. So, like, the last 4 maps were just... literally masterclass out of Seattle Surge. It's mind-blowing to see that. And honestly, a player who stepped up huge for this team was Mack. Mack has been popping off. Like, that Berlin hardpoint was perfect. The P4 setup both times, they literally locked it down for, like, I think they got like 100 seconds combined on both those hills combined. So Seattle, man, they're on the money, especially in search and destroy as well.
And speaking about money, let's go ahead and talk to accuracy for the Game Fuel post-victory spotlight. Whew, I know he's got to be just living right now.
Oh, no, accuracy. Hey, what's going on? Congratulations on the win. We're all super excited for you. A huge dub after, you know, a couple of really tough losses, right? I got to know, what was it like going into this match against Atlanta FaZe, being on such a loss streak?
The biggest thing we said after we lost yesterday was, yo, we just need to get our team confidence back, get our mojo back, play with that swagger, and just don't overthink things, don't malfunction your brain or anything. Just do what you feel in the moment and just trust your gut. So that was the team talk we had after we lost, and it feels like we're starting to get our mojo back.
Accuracy, why do you guys match up so well with FaZe? Because it seems like every time you play them, there's an extra chip on your shoulder, or you guys just seem to rise to the occasion.
Honestly, I don't know what it is. We just play with confidence. We don't treat, it's something that might hurt us and help us, but we just treat every team the same. You know, whether it's FaZe or any other team, we just play the same. So I don't think that, like, FaZe effect that makes some people, you know, play worse or something like that happens to us, because we just treat every match the same.
You guys rise up to the occasion. Okay, accuracy, you guys had a big losing streak, got the fattest win you could possibly get today. Congratulations. I'm gonna leave this space open for you to basically talk to the fans out there, because they've been starving for a big Seattle victory, and you guys gave them the biggest play possible.
Yeah, you can. The biggest thing I want to say to them is, you know, just keep believing in us, keep supporting us. We want you guys to know that every day we're coming into this facility, putting our nose to the ground and grinding as hard as we can to make sure that you guys are proud of us.
All right, accuracy, we're all proud of you here on this desk. And damn it, win some more games, man. You guys are too good, yo. Keep tearing it up. I'll talk to you later, all right?
Appreciate it, bro.
No problem. aLLeY, I mean, Nameless hit it on the head as well. I mean, one of the biggest win conditions you could think of in that lobby. I mean, Big Mac was just popping off in every way possible.
He was, and you know what? It was Simp and Pred that were struggling in the beginning, but once they hit their stride, especially in that hard point, it was game over. Like, once I saw accuracy in the search and destroy, his positioning on docked for the B plant, we haven't seen that yet. I feel like in Berlin search and destroy, and Seattle knew that, and they capitalized on it. You saw Atlanta FaZe, they went hunting on warehouse, because that's usually how they play that retake, and there was nobody to be found. Simp snaps on a good one for Cellium, and accuracy instantly route mans through mid to go into a better positioning at warehouse to get the kill on the Arcitys. Once that happened, man, I was like, it's over. Seattle matches up so well against Atlanta FaZe. You know why? Because every player in Seattle Surge plays just like FaZe.
Yes.
Accuracy and Arcitys match up perfectly. Sib and Cell, amazing flex aggressive players. Mack and Pred match up with Simp and aBeZy. That's why these teams always go so head to head.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely love it. I want to see both of these teams battle it out throughout the entirety of the year. And man, Seattle winning is just beautiful for the CDL. But what was also beautiful were the other games that we had today. Let's go ahead and run down the list, because we kicked off today with Paris Legion facing off against the Los Angeles Guerrillas. And it wasn't a good day for LA all the way. And
Yeah, well, LA ended up playing great in this series. So, I mean, like, looking at, the Paris Legion, we were excited. Jimbo.
I'm in Paris, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we were excited for Jimbo, coming into the roster. But LAG, they wanted to prove everybody wrong today. Slasher came out in that first map, absolutely fried. Gunless had himself one hell of a performance today. The guy was putting up LeBron numbers. And yeah, I mean, this is the LAG team that we saw earlier in the year, especially their hardpoint game, right? And it's just a team that's been wildly inconsistent. So, I'm not gonna, it's nothing to write home about for me, beating a Paris team that's coming in with a roster change. So I just need to see a little bit more out of LAG.
But it was definitely a good step, though. I mean, I gotta say, man, seeing Slasher definitely step up in a big way, especially on that first hard point, the man with nuclear. But Paris on the other end, team change happened. They weren't as explosive as we saw them last time at the Major, and hopefully they can pick things back up. The second matchup of the day was London Royal Ravens versus the Los Angeles Thieves. This was the LA team I was thinking about when I was saying that they weren't having a good day. And aLLeY, yeah, they got clapped.
They did, but it's a testament to how good London Royal Ravens is. I mean, with a sub, and granted, Paul is nasty. We've seen what he's capable of doing. That man is still in challengers, free for pickup, but across the board, we saw the tweets from Zero Man. He just got to sit back and let the rest of the boys fry and Afro and Nasty. Paul once again taking over on Gavutu. LA, though, they are still struggling in Search and Destroy, and to lose both of your best maps and game modes in one series, that's got to be hard.
I know, they were 9-1 on Gavutu, hardpoint and control combined. They come in here and, the Red Menace just laughs at him. Man, Nasty and Paul X were popping off. There's just some huge swing moments, especially in that hardpoint where London just took control and it was lights out. Like, these guys know exactly what they want to do. Is translate, man. Their breaks are still like money on every single hard point. I don't know how.
They're starting to rotate.
Yeah, exactly. And they're starting to rotate now, so it's just getting even better. I love this London team. They're going to be championship levels.
Even with the sub, with Paul X stepping in and being great, right? I mean, the core of this team is strong. But the other game that we had, the Game Field marquee matchup of the day, was between Toronto Ultra and also Minnesota Røkkr, the host of Major II. And we wanted to see what Minnesota was all about, but Toronto just had, better plans for them.
Yeah, they showed us that they are the real deal in hardpoint. Finally, this team was 0-8 at Major I in hardpoint, and they come out and they win 2 hardpoints in this series. Cammy had a good performance throughout the latter half of the series. Didn't start out so hot, but they still got the win. And that just is a testament to the teamwork on this team. You heard the communication. It was a little bit more intense in the listening this time than usual, but it was great because Bance was really taking the role as that in-game leader, and he had some huge moments for the team. I mean, if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't have won this map 1. Got a couple big 2 pieces, and then it just comes down to hardpoint for these guys. And if they can continuously win hardpoint, they can win a championship. Well, that is the key difference with this team that we saw today.
They won 2 more than we've seen from them in that Major. And also, I think it's definitely a bright light. And what I want to talk about is that Cammy had a .67 in maps 1 and 2, and yet they still were able to win map 1. And then after that, map 3, he drops a 1.36. So I'm scared to see what this Toronto Ultra squad can do with Cammy starting out with that 1.36 at the beginning of the series.
And I would say, as an ex-professional player, and you can completely agree with this one, listening to Toronto's comms, for all of you at home that are aspiring pro gamers out there, listen to the way that they talk. That was masterclass that we heard today. Exactly, it was a conversation. And let's move this conversation into what we're going to see tomorrow. Let's take a look at the schedule. And the first matchup of the day is, of course, the Minnesota Røkkr facing off against Paris Legion. After that, New York Subliners versus Florida Mutineers in the the Mountain Dew marquee match of the day, nameless. Okay, Los Angeles Thieves versus OpTic Texas. That's a fire match.
This is a matchup I've been wanting to see. This is what I wanted to see at Major I. Unfortunately, didn't get to see it. So this should be a banger. LA Thieves, though, today, they didn't look the best. Hoping they can come back in that Major form versus an OpTic Texas team coming off a win. They're about to be at home full confidence going throughout these qualifiers. So should be a banger.
OpTic's going to be beaming. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll catch you guys tomorrow for some more beautiful Call of Duty League action. And also, for you OpTic fans out there, we know you've been waiting for it. We'll see you tomorrow for OpTic Texas facing off against the Los Angeles Thieves. Today was great. We ended out the day with an amazing upset, and tomorrow is going to be even better. We'll catch you guys next time for some more CDL action.